YouTube is a weird place. We've got all kinds of videos for all kinds of people. We've got videos for people who like VTubers, which, you know, isn't my channel, but some of you were here that like VTubers. I'm just not your normal VTuber. We've got videos for people who like video games. We've got videos for people who like playing card games. We've got videos for people who like cooking. And apparently, there's also videos for people who might be accused of child abuse. Let's cover that, but first, let's get into the fan art section. This is from Worthless. Said, yes, I do use color filters. I wanted to make the colors give more of a poisonous, radioactive look. I imagine the slime glows in the dark. The slime on the legs leave glow-in-the-dark paw prints. I'm going to say this right now. This slime looks less like slime and more like cheese, like it's a bunch of radioactive cheese, which is funny. That's kind of funny. It's just like it's like a slime pizza, created radioactive cheese everywhere, and I kind of like that idea. The next one we have here is also from Worthless, radioactive slime Suris family. Since they're kind of a fictional multiverse Suris, they were separated after a tribe had attacked theirs. Oh, well, fair enough. It definitely is so is there a whole, like, there's radioactive cheesy slime families in canon now? Is that the Virgin Killer sweater? That looks like the Virgin Killer sweater. The last one we have here is from Smacko. I'm going on a trip, so I won't be able to finish it, but probably when I return, I'll do so. But Digidestined, Vice Rhino, and Surismon having a political talk. I'm just going to let that one marinate. That's all. It looks really cool. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is, you know what the Discord is. It's in the description there. Borealis Phoenix, thank you for resubscribing, and Melon Gecko, thank you for subscribing with Prime, and Sakura, thank you for the 100 bits. Apparently, we're going to be doing this one in the middle of a hype train, so that's fun. How's it going, Goonie? But let's go ahead and take a look here. This is what we gotta cover today. Said, who is Ruby Franke, and what to know about the mommy vlogger who's accused of child abuse? Now, this wouldn't be the first time that we've had to deal with family vlog channels and abusing children. But again, this is all allegedly. We don't know a whole lot about the situation right now, but I'm just gonna say, I think family vlog is kind of cringe. Your kids don't really consent to being part of your channel, and if they're born into that, just making child actors of them really early, they're gonna have really awkward lives. Just saying. But let's take a look here. Ruby Franke, a Utah YouTube star who has spent the last 8 years dishing out parenting advice to millions of viewers, she was arrested on Wednesday alongside her business partner, Jody Hillenbrandt, on suspicion of aggravated child abuse. Her last name is pronounced Franke. Okay. Okay. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Were you expecting a paywall? No, just go away. Police said that Frankie's malnourished son escaped out a window with his arms and legs covered in duct tape, fleeing to a neighbor's house seeking food and water. What? Why? What? Why? For some of Frankie's viewers, this news is no surprise. Her videos have long sparked criticism, controversy, and claims that child abuse was unfolding unabated and for digital viewers to enjoy. Okay. Oh, this is just one of those situations I'm just never going to be able to unread, right? Frankie is a 41-year-old Mormon man. Okay. some things are starting to add up a little bit. Some things are starting to add up a little more now. Mormonism's a goddamn cult. I've said it many times on my channel. I don't think there is a problem with religion specifically or belief in deities specifically, but there are some religions that are just abusive cults. They are just abusive cults. And Mormons are one of them. The entirety of the Mormon religion is a giant abusive cult. That is it. And if you believe that John Smith and the Latter-day Saints had your best interests at heart, you've been lied to. Jesus didn't step into America. I'm sorry. We're popping the bubble on that one. Santa Claus is also not real. This is just one of those... This is one of those ones that, like, I'm perfectly confident saying, no, this one's just bullshit. And the people who follow it are sad. And I wish you all better situations. Frankie is a 41-year-old Mormon mother of 6 from Ivins, Utah. Though active across several social media platforms, she's best known for her once popular YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. In over 1,000 videos since the channel's launch in 2015, Frank documents the sometimes intimate, sometimes mundane, daily details of family life, gaining 2.3 million subscribers in the process. Some of the most watched videos show her children in their most vulnerable moments of suburban adolescence, learning to shave, trying on new clothes, facing reprimand. Man, I'm going to be honest. I'm a YouTuber that puts a lot of my life out there for you guys to see. Like, I talk about the personal details of my life and even my finances over on Patreon. I bring my partner up on video. I mean, she's also a streamer as well, but you understand what I'm talking about. I make a lot of my personal life known. I make it everybody's business on my channel because that's been the flavor of my channel basically as soon as I realized that I was building a community as opposed to just saying my opinions out into the void of the internet. So there's a certain level of, hey, all this stuff is out there in the open for everyone to see. But there's also a certain point where it just shouldn't. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, when I have kids, when that time comes, I am never making them a part of my channel. Just until they get to a point where they can honestly say, yes, I want to do this, and even then, the type of content that I would do that would involve my kids when that day comes would be topical content or gaming content or stuff like that. It would never be, hey, let's go ahead and show all of your personal moments for everybody to see, so that when you're 18 and you have a little more cognition over how that affected your life forever, you can regret it forever. I just don't think that that's something I could see myself doing, and I don't see the logic behind doing it either, except with 2.3 million subscribers, I guess the logic is just, hey, this makes money. Some of the okay, so Frankie, arms outstretched, selfie style, toggles between speaking to the children directly and making eye contact with the camera, narrating her rationale for parenting decisions as they unfold in real time. Some of her lessons contained spiritual undertones or light references to traditional values. 8 Passengers was removed from YouTube earlier this year. NPR couldn't find a publicly stated explanation for the move, but the takedown coincided with a noticeable uptake in criticism. Even before the news of Frankie's arrest, a string of expose-style videos and blog posts from other creators cataloged moment after moment of perceived toxic behavior. Some of this criticism takes aim at the style of the content altogether, saying Frankie is one of hundreds of content creators who force children, too young to consent, to trade their privacy for her financial gain. Said it's a common refrain in today's influencer discourse. Earlier this month, Illinois became the first state to introduce a law mandating child influencers. Wow, why influencers? I'm an influencer. No, child influencers need to receive financial compensation for appearing in video content. Yeah, I mean, at that point, they are literally... It's not like a man on the street that you just happen to interview for a one-off thing. This is somebody who is a repeated, constant co-host of your channel. They need compensation. If they're going to do this, if you're going to do this really, really risky move with your kids, then yeah, they deserve to get some of that money. And not in the money I earn from this channel goes to feeding you. The money I earn from this channel goes to paying for your room. Not that. Like, literally, that's like if a job provided you with housing and electricity, then they just chose never to pay you. So you couldn't actually go out and do anything with your life. That's what that would be. Said other concerns over 8 passengers focused specifically on Frank and her strict parenting techniques. God, hold on, I just realized that's the logic behind a company town. That's the logic behind a company town. Parent influencers who don't pay their kids for appearing on videos or mini company towns. Anywho... Other concerns over 8 passengers focused specifically on Frankie and her strict parenting techniques, claiming that she openly abused her children in front of millions of eager viewers. Why am I... God, I really am tired. In one video posted in June 2020, Frankie's then 15-year-old son said he'd slept on a beanbag chair for 7 months after being banned from his shared bedroom for pranking his younger brother into believing he was taken to Disneyland. That's not good for your back. At the very least, make sure that he has a bed. But Suris, they feed the kids. What more do they need? Privacy? What's that? In an interview with Insider, Frankie defended the decision to revoke her son's bedroom privileges, but added that the beanbag comment had been taken out of context. The teen had been given a choice of sleeping on a blow-up or a pull-out mattress, but declined. Okay, so at least there's that, but still, bedroom privileges? Really? You're really treating your kids the same way you treat your husband? Kicking out of the bedroom when they do bad? Really? Okay. In another video, Frankie says she refused to bring food to her then 6-year-old after the child had forgotten her lunch at home. She defended that move, saying that it was necessary to teach her daughter personal responsibility and that she was fed immediately upon returning home. Wait. You know your kid at 6 years old isn't going to have any concept of that yet, right? They're literally just going to be like, ugh, well, mom didn't feed me. Fuck that. Several other videos also show Frankie threatening to take away meals as punishment. No. No. Is this just a thing she normally does, like revocation of meals as punishment? It's one thing to offer your kids a meal, and if they refuse the meal, then okay, I guess you don't eat. I made green bean curry today, and yeah, you might not like that, but it's the food that was made in the house, and you're going to learn to eat it, or you're not going to have food, which is a move that can translate directly into your adult life. If you don't have any money, and you have lots of food in the fridge, and that's food that you don't want to eat, damn, I guess you're going to have to get used to eating some of the food that's in your fridge. Simple as that. But instead, when you start revoking meals from them, you're basically communicating, hey, this thing you need for your survival is something that can be taken away from you because of my whims. Like, no. So there's videos of Frankie threatening to cut the head off her child's teddy bear. What the fuck? No! Taking away the children's Christmas presents and sending her oldest boy to a behavioral camp where youth spend a minimum of 49 days in the wilderness with little gear. What? Why? That's extreme. It's one thing to say, hey, we're going to take away your privileges to your teddy bear, or your privileges to one of the Christmas presents you might be getting after you've already opened the box because you did something wrong. Like, taking away privileges to a video game console or a beloved stuffed animal or something like that, that's one thing. But saying, nah, I'm going to destroy this thing in front of you, that's traumatizing. Saying, hey, there's this shared social activity that everybody gets to take a part of, except because you did something, you don't get to take part in that. You're going to make that child resent Christmas for fucking ever. Seriously. And saying you'd send your oldest kid to a behavioral camp where people spend a bunch of days in the wilderness. No, that's something you do when a kid wants to go. Not something you just force them to do. Sorry. Said here, who is Jody and what is ConneXions? Around the same time Franke stopped posting on 8 Passengers, she started appearing in another video series, ConneXions Classroom. ConneXions bills itself as a mental health curriculum and counseling service structured around the principles of impeccable honesty, rigorous personal responsibility, and vulnerable humility. The founder of the company, Jody Hillbrandt, is a therapist who had her license suspended in 2012 after she disclosed a patient's porn addiction to his Mormon more Mormons! It's more Mormons! Why? Jesus Christ! What? For one, porn addiction isn't really something we have a ton of documentation on being, you know, even a real fucking thing. On top of that, why? That's the type of thing that gets people taken out of their communities. Like I said, Mormonism is a goddamn abuse cult. Giving ammunition for that abuse cult to ostracize you and take you away from likely your only group of people that you're socializing with is horrible. Franke and Hillbrandt appeared together regularly in videos and podcasts, including as recently as Monday. The two share values-based lessons on topics like blame, control, and denial, with notes on family life infused throughout. ConneXions' YouTube page was removed on Friday, following the news of the woman's arrests. It's unclear if the video had been removed by the company or by YouTube. Around 10:50 a.m. on Wednesday, Franke's 12-year-old son climbed out of the window in Hillbrandt's house in the city of Ivins, according to an arrest affidavit signed by the Santa Clara Ivins public safety officer. He ran to a neighbor's house, asking for food and water. The neighbor, noticing duct tape around the child's ankles and wrists, called the police. The responding officer said the child appeared to be severely malnourished and had sustained deep lacerations from being tied up with a rope. The boy was transported to a local hospital while police searched Hillbrandt's home. There, they discovered another child, Franke's 10-year-old daughter, who appeared to also be malnourished and had to be taken to the hospital. In total, 4 of Franke's children were removed into the care of the Department of Child and Safety Services, according to a press release from the Santa Clara Ivins Public Safety Department. Franke and Hillbrandt were arrested on suspicion of 2 felony counts, each of aggravated child abuse, though charges have not yet been filed through the local court system. Franke declined to speak with officers and requested an attorney, the affidavit said. The name of the attorneys for either woman had not been publicly listed on the court documents as of Friday. A lawyer reportedly representing Frank's husband did not respond to an NPR voicemail seeking comment by the time of publication. A call to the number listed for ConneXions was unreturned. A judge granted a detective's request that Franke be held without bail. Both women were still in custody as of Friday morning. Now, the next section is what is the family saying? This one is going to be kind of interesting. Sherry Franke, the family's eldest daughter at age 20, has not replied to NPR's request for comment, but has been posting about her mother's arrest on her Instagram stories. Now, let's see here. Said no bail, even locked up. I guess we'll see. On Wednesday night, she shared a photo of officers at her childhood home, and the caption said, "Finally," according to several news outlets that caught the initial story, which disappeared by design after 24 hours. Sherry later shared that she and her family were so glad justice is being served and had been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this. She also called for help collecting links to questionable or concerning videos featuring her mother and shared a link to a Google Doc filled with public contributions. Frankie's three sisters, who are also family influencers, said in a joint post that the arrest needed to happen. For the last 3 years, we've kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Franke for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we've done everything we could to try to make sure the kids were safe. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. When your kids are literally going, yeah, it's important. It's important that this fucking happened. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Apparently, this is a compilation sent by,
Hello, friends.
by Pernia. Said Ruby Franke's ConneXions, Moms of Truth compilation. Let's see what some of these takes are. We'll very quickly run through them.
Like to cancel me, who would like to see me, like to cancel me, who would like to hate me, who would like to cancel me, who would like to see me either burn in hell, as I'm told, or disappear off the face of the earth, and I'm not going anywhere.
It was like the outcomes weren't matching the crime, right? The punishment didn't fit the crime. And so I thought, how do I reach my kids in a way that they're going to understand? And it didn't make sense to me to hold my kids accountable, and then Christmas come, and then it's not consistent. And all of a sudden, they get Santa Claus coming and pouring gifts upon them. And I thought, this is an opportunity for me to really grab their attention. I can't think of anything that grabs a child's attention more than Santa Claus. And so I pulled them aside, my husband and I both, and we said, you know, we really love you. We really, truly love you. Like, we're not loving you just because you're cute and cuddly, although that's true. We love you, and our responsibility is to help you reach a place of adulthood where you are empathic with others.
Oh, this is going to be where she took away the kid's presents.
Really are a charactered being. And the information by your choices are telling your dad and I that you're not there. You're not even close. And so we're going to not be celebrating Christmas in the same way that we've done in the past. We're going to celebrate Christmas for what it really stands for, which is the Savior was born. And because the Savior was born, we get this beautiful opportunity to change. Our hearts get to soften.
So, she even hid it behind her religion.
And so
Jesus
for Christmas,
Christ.
We're inviting you to soften your heart. And it was a beautiful experience. They really, really took to heart what we were inviting them to do. So Kevin and I stepped back and we watched how they took this outcome, how they interpreted it, how they worked with it, how they interacted with it. And because they're quite numb because of the choices they've been making, they didn't go into hysteria, they didn't go into fits, they didn't cry and scream. They just were like, okay, okay. And Christmas morning came, and the two decided they were going to play elves, and they would find the packages under the tree, and they'd say, oh, this is to Mom, or oh, this is to Chad, or this is, Abby's, and they would take the gifts and give it to the person whose gift it belonged to. And they enjoyed that, and they decided that they were going to make this day the most fun day of the year. I started pulling out the carpet 3 years ago. I knew my son would end up in prison, and it wasn't too many years down the road. And he'll agree 100% with that. He was making choices that were going to wind
Nitros, thank you for resubscribing. Since Ruby says she knew her son would end up in prison.
him up in prison for life. And so I thought, do I step in and start holding him accountable in ways that are going to be disappointing for him right now, and put him on the path where he's using his agency to serve and to love, which is what he's done with this chair, this beautiful example of him showing love. It was years of holding him accountable.
If my child is sexually active, I would rather her be safe than sorry.
Look at that face of disgust. Let's just ignore the fact that your kids are going to be sexually active. When the hormones start flowing, that's a thing that's going to happen. I lost my virginity at 15. Most of my friends lost their virginity around the same time. That's a thing that happens. It's better for them to learn to be safe so that they don't have any regrets later. Just the having of the sex won't be that much of a regret. It's really not that big of a deal. It really isn't. I'm sorry, but... Also, Blinding Starsery, thank you for redeeming your points for an all wall.
So your daughter is... Your daughter's going to be... Well, I don't know if she's going to be sorry, but I feel sorrow that your daughter's even in this situation.
I feel sorrow that your daughter is doing what we basically expect every teenager is doing with each other.
It's not having a baby that creates the sorrow.
Yeah, it is. People regret babies all the fucking time, dumbass. Also, Rand the Fool, thank you for redeeming your points for... You fucking degen.
That is not what creates the sorrow. She is abusing her body.
You know, that's not how that works. Having sex is not abusing your body. Having sex is just having sex. It's only abusing your body if you're having sex wrong.
She is giving herself to some punk who thinks he's cool because he has a baseball scholarship. She's not honoring who she is. She's not keeping herself safe. You have not taught her how to keep herself safe.
But what if she did? She taught her kid to use precautions when having sex. That is teaching them to be safe. It's not safe when you just go, just never have sex. Never, ever, ever. No, that's not safety. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. That's completely unrealistic.
Birth control doesn't keep people safe.
Yes, it does. Keeps people safe from pregnancy. Sex should not always lead to pregnancy.
Individuals are responsible for their own safety. If she wants to be safe, if you want her to be safe, she needs to know the principles of safety.
Yeah, like birth control and condoms.
Birth control does not create safety.
Yes, it does. It's one of the steps to creating safety. You're an idiot.
Being honest. Being responsible.
Yeah, those mean nothing. Those mean nothing. When somebody goes, being honest, being responsible, thank you for the buzzwords. Now, what do they mean in this context?
Being humble.
What does that mean in this context?
That is what creates safety. So you need...
Okay, so she's honest. The daughter's honest in every one of these scenarios. Your daughter is honest. She wants to fuck the guy. She's responsible. She used birth control and she's using a condom. And she's humble. Hey, I honestly want to fuck the guy, and I don't think he's hot shit or I'm hot shit. We're just people who want to fuck. There you go. Boom. It's all three of them. All three of them. Have fun with your arrest.
You need to do that for yourself first. You have modeled to her control. You have modeled for her how to be unsafe. And she is following suit.
So you basically just called the kid a slut, and you called the mom a slut who taught her kid how to be a slut. No. No, we're not doing that. Sephi, maybe you should stop typing then. So look, I understand every single thing she's saying makes you really want her to trip on a Lego. I get that. We're not doing calls for violence. We're not doing that. And if you start typing something that seems like it could be that, like when you said earlier, Sephi, the thing about turning somebody's face into red paste, fucking stop that. I will ban you. I will not even hesitate. I will do that to anyone. You are risking yourself and everyone else. So don't. Okay? Okay. She's already in jail. The justice system, fucked as it is already doing what it can here. But no. But no, I feel like if this woman stepped on 1,000 Legos, it wouldn't be enough. I'm sorry, but unfit parent doesn't begin to describe how I feel this person is. Just no. that all said, I guess I just want to throw this all at you guys. I know many of you have probably been following this story way longer than I have, so I want to know what y'all think in the comment section below. Just, this is much. And so I'm going to stop subjecting you all to the actual words she said and the cadence she said them, and instead subject you all to whatever YouTube plays in its recommended video after you watch the credits roll. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here.